Unfiltered Soccer here at the 2025 MLS All-Star Game in Austin, Texas. Me and Tim here. We are now joined by a man making his second straight All-Star appearance. He was the 2024 MLS Young Player of the Year, and he's coming off a Gold Cup run that was fascinating for the U.S., where he scored 3 goals and had 4 assists. One of the country's brightest young stars, and his second appearance here on the Unfiltered Soccer podcast. We welcome Diego Luna. All right, Diego, we'll jump right in. So Tim likes to say that your fame went up once he interviewed you.
That's not true.
No, but it feels like over the last month, and deservedly so, you've been on a trajectory. From a fame standpoint, from people noticing you, recognizing you, how do you deal with that? You're 21?
21, yeah.
So how do you deal with that? Who around you keeps you humble? Because you are a humble kid, and we want to make sure. If you're not, you're going to hear from me too.
Yeah.
But who keeps you grounded, and how have you dealt with that?
To be honest, be straight up, I think it's myself. I think it's just kind of how I grew up and, where I came from, not coming from much. Now that I've, getting noticed and getting more things, I think it's just something cool to now, be able to provide for the family that has given me everything now. So I think it's kind of that, because to me, it's never going to change. I'm the same dude that was playing, back in Cali and stuff like that. So I think for me, it's just, that, and then moving away from home at a young age really allowed me to mature mentally. And, with therapy and all these things that I use as tools for me, allows me to, stay grounded and just keeps me calm.
Yes, you have fame, and you've earned that. I was saying off camera, we need to get a belt. I don't know if you watch UFC, but the BMF, you're the BMF. Until
what does that mean, Tim?
Well, you can look it up. we get edit the show. There was a lot of noise from us, from everybody across the soccer landscape, which, by the way, is a good thing.
Yeah.
About this current national team and players that weren't there. And then when that conversation moved forward, one of the things Landon and I talked about was now the opportunity and onus and responsibilities on this current group to say, to hell with who's not here, to hell with Landon and Tim and this other guy who says,
For sure.
Focus, lock in, do the business. You did that. Was there moments before the tournament where, and again, I'm not asking for inside information, was there moments before the tournament where, as a group, you felt like, to hell with everybody else, we have to dig in together?
Yeah, I think the team that was, put together there, I think everybody there was on the same page as we really don't care about anything that's going on outside of this group. Because this is the people that are here. These are the people that are going to, take us to the final of this tournament, or the people that are going to get judged for not making it to the tournament. So I think everybody in that group, and that's what allowed us to be successful, is that we didn't pay attention to anything of the outside noise, to the people talking, to the players that weren't brought in. Sure. It was these guys and these guys only, and that was the main focus. And we put in the shift, and unfortunate to not bring it home, but I think we did well, and the guys there did a good job.
Yeah.
So talk to me about the final, right?
Yeah.
Because you played, in my opinion, was there 6 games total? You played 5 fantastic games, and then the final was hard for you, right? You struggled in some portion. You struggled to kind of find the game. So why was that? Yeah. Right. And what I'm really digging into is, like, what are you learning from that? Because you can't do this forever. So we all do this, and then this, and then this, and then that. And so what do you learn from that? And how do you, if you had to play it again tomorrow, what do you do differently?
Yeah, I just want to start off with, people kind of think about this final as like it was, like the ending, right? And it's like, this is just the beginning. And I think people, it was an unfortunate game. I didn't play well. The team struggled a little bit to get out. I think they really kept us in our half more than we like to. I was playing more defensively, more lower than I would like to. But yeah, I think this is an awesome time for growing and an awesome thing to learn from at a young age for me, and hopefully to come back to more finals. And I'll take this as a stepping stool of what not to do, and how finals are played, and how big moments like that are different, because it's not just a normal game. This is it was a different type of feeling and different type of game. If we had to play this game tomorrow, I think it would be differently in the way that we pressed, be more aggressive. I think keeping the ball. I think it was just maybe individual mistakes
There were
of
a lot of bad giveaways.
a pass, given away when we win it, and then they would just pin us right back down.
Yeah.
So I think that would be the difference maker right there, is just keeping the ball for a little bit, making them run rather than having them just control the game and pin us back.
Listen, U.S. Mexico are always brilliant games.
Yeah.
They're oftentimes cagey and for as much, and I think about it all the time, like Barcelona, Real Madrid. If you watch those games, you have to earn the right to play.
Yeah.
U.S. Mexico is a tough game. You got to earn the right to play, and I thought it was a fantastic game. Look, will we pin back too much?
Yeah.
Could we not get out? Sure, but even Poch made the switch where you were left of a 4. And Tillman was in the hole, and he put Tillman on left of the 4 and you in a more creative position. So there's opportunities there for a manager to learn.
Yeah.
I guess from me, I'm really curious on. You talked about his rise being really sharp. Have these? You go into January camp, you have the friendlies, but are these games what you expected them to be at this level? I mean, you had Costa Rica, you had semifinals, you have Mexico in the final. Like, are these the games when you thought about it? Because we all dream about playing for our country in the big moments. Have they been everything you hoped?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say yes.
Yeah.
I'd say the games were very competitive. I think the games were intense. It's hard to answer because you don't want to sound one way or another, right? But I think the performances that I put in these games were well. I think I still could have played better. I think there was still another level.
Yeah, but I mean more so.
Yeah.
You dreamt of playing for your country. Your performances were fantastic.
Yeah.
But in terms of the atmosphere and we all want to play for our country, and when you get there, you feel like, oh wow, this is everything I dreamt it would be.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, now that even when the national anthem's playing, like that moments like that,
It's different, right?
It's emotional. It's definitely special.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you kind of feel all these things kind of kick in. You're like, wow, this is it. This is all I've dreamt of as a kid. So yeah, I think you hit it right on the spot. Yeah.
I want to give you a compliment because I talk to Nate Miller a lot and Pablo from time to time about you. And one of my concerns, not just with you, with everyone, was when you get back to your club teams, what does that look like?
Yeah.
Because you can kind of go one of two ways. You can walk back in and be like, yeah, man, did you see me in the...
Yeah.
Or you can come in and say, I want more of that, like he said. And the way you get more of that is by performing at Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And that's it. And Nate told me your first day back in training, you were at it.
Yeah.
He said, like, you were into it. You were aggressive. You were loud. You were at it. And your games since have been the same. So I want to compliment you on that. Also, in talking to them, one of the things they talk about, and this is a crazy thing to say, so, like, when people, I think, look at you, right? And I think they looked at me similar, like, shorter, stockier. They think, okay, and with your ability, your quality, they don't expect you to run the way you do.
Yeah.
And they said sometimes we actually want Diego to run less.
Yeah.
Right? Which is crazy. So have you always had that about you, that ability? Because I know when your team has the ball, you're everywhere because you just want the ball.
Yeah.
Right? And that in most games is very effective.
Yeah.
But then without the ball too, you've gotten really good at just moving and running. And has that always been a part of what you've done, or has that developed?
No, it definitely hasn't. I think definitely off the ball, it's been RSL and Pablo Mastroeni that has really put that engraved that into my brain that, this is a game and nowadays it's both sides of the ball. You can't just, unless you're Messi, you can't just kind of roam around the ball and wait for it to get to you. Right. So he implemented that into me and basically told me, you're not going to play if you don't play both sides of the ball. So that has been what I've, worked on for the past, 2.5 years at RSL. And it's also allowed me to be in better positions when we have the ball. It's allowed me to be more mentally locked in the game. And it's overall just helped me in my overall, match fitness, in my performance, and everything. And it also just makes the trust of the team in you better, and who doesn't want, the trust of your teammates there for...
People forget this. It allows you to stay on the field longer, right?
Yeah.
Because your coach is like, I don't need to take him out because he can go the whole time.
Exactly.
And you're going to score goals in your career in the 80th minute, 85th, 90th, because you're on the field, right? And so it's really important.
Well, I mean, you're learning a valuable lesson from one of the best, in terms of midfielders in this country, Pablo Mastroeni, a friend of mine. He coached me, and we played alongside him.
Yeah.
But you're learning that lesson at a young age because so many players think they can get away with it. And when you look at the best players we watch all around the world, they play both sides of the ball. There's one, as you mentioned, one or two players in the world that can just play one side of the ball. You have to earn that. And coming out of the Gold Cup, I'm curious, was there, what's your communication like with Mauricio Pochettino? You're a player who he likes. He likes your tenacity and your toughness and your ability on the ball. What have those conversations been like as you left the tournament or even throughout?
Yeah, I haven't been able to chat with him after the tournament. It was a quick turnaround after the final to get out of there and get back to your clubs. Hopefully I can get a call soon and kind of chat about it because I also have some questions and concerns and stuff. But I think for me it's continuing to do what I've been doing at RSL, and if not another step higher to allow me to get more chances with the national team.
Mm-hmm.
So we asked you this before when you came on the pod.
Yeah.
And I'm curious now. I know how these things go. Tim knows how it goes. You play with the national team. You soar. People pay attention.
Yeah.
Interest grows from around other parts of the world. Is your mindset the same as it was a few months ago? Do you see these things differently? Do you view going to Europe or having an opportunity now versus later? Where's your mindset now with that?
Yeah, I think I've always had the dream of going to Europe, right? Like that was the thing, right? To get to Europe and try it out and perform and see what the highest level you can reach while you are allowed to play soccer. Time runs out. So I think that's the same goal that I had, before camp and then after this Gold Cup. But that all just, plays into fact about what clubs want you, what's the right move for you, money-wise, a bunch of things that play into it. So I think for me, I'm ready for the next step to challenge myself at wherever that is. If that's staying at RSL, I'm 100% in, and I'm continuing to do and perform, score more goals, win championships. And if that's a move, then that's a move, and got to restart and build my way into that team or whatever team that is. But I'm looking forward to what's to come, whatever that is.
As we went into the summer, again, there was the players that weren't there and the players that were there, and kind of got pitted against one another. Ultimately, you're one group, you're one team, you're one brotherhood.
Yeah.
What is that like? That being said, there's competition for places.
Yep.
There's the team that band together, went to a Gold Cup final, gave Mauricio Pochettino some selection headaches.
Yeah.
What's the feeling from your end? You get back into camp in September. You probably feel like you're a starter, or you certainly should want to feel. You and a couple of other players should feel like I've done enough to start. What's that competition going to be like when you go into camp with the players who weren't there with the current squad?
Yeah, I think that's the type of mental kind of thing that is going to allow us to be a top level country, a top level team, is when we got guys that are coming back into camp that, like you said, you can say that they did well. Yeah. They think they have a spot, whatever. And then you have guys that, were the main guys or were the guys that say the media talked about and stuff. And now going into a camp like that, you got two people that are just fighting against each other. And overall, it's a good thing. Overall, it's the person that's going to get put in that 11 worked for it and earned it. So I think that's the type of mentality that we need in the U.S. with soccer, and I think that's what we're missing. So I think overall it's a great thing to happen, and excited for that to happen.
The beauty for you is you've been doing that since 16, right? And we've talked about you going pro early and knowing what it's like to compete and earn it, not given a spot, not a homegrown who everyone's trying to get into the team.
Exactly.
You have to, and that, by the way, that's what the national team should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our first times going in, it wasn't like, oh, here you go. It's like you got to fight like hell to earn it, and it's been great. I just want to congratulate you. It's been an amazing summer. It's been fun to watch you. I think the sky is the limit for you. Yeah. I really do. And it's been an honor for us to get to know you better and watch you progress. And wherever it takes you next, I know your dreams are very big. Yeah. And you've already achieved a lot of them, and there's a long way to go. Yeah. So congrats.
And we appreciate you coming on our show. Our listeners love you. You're a fan favorite. You're welcome back anytime. Thank you. Much success and good luck.
Appreciate
that. Stay fit.
Thank you, guys.
Get some sleep, man. Yes, I know you're tired.
Will do.
Awesome. Super excited, LD. We have one of the breakout stars, not only in MLS, but all of U.S. soccer, making his first All-Star appearance for Orlando City. He's coming off a Gold Cup for the U.S. where he started every single game at right fullback. We welcome in Alex Freeman.
All right, Alex, welcome. Nice T-shirt.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. Did you pick that out?
No.
They made you wear
That's
it.
Yeah,
given.
they
That's
made
the
you
merch.
wear it.
That's the merch that comes in the bag.
Okay, so we did our research before we came, and you're with Orlando City B, and then this is your first season where you've been like the starter, logging all the minutes. I'm curious because we watched you all through the Gold Cup, and most people now know you through what they saw this summer on the Gold Cup, right, outside of Orlando. So after that experience, what are you happy with in your game? Let's talk about your game first, then we'll get into this. And then what do you still need to improve on to get to that next level? And by the way, there's many levels.
Yeah.
And I think you can get to all of them, but to get to that next one.
I feel like in the game, I was playing a more defensive role, and I feel like that was something I needed to work on in my game. And I feel like in that game, I had the ball a lot in possession. And I feel like it was just me to improve in that aspect. You know, I like to go forward, and I didn't get to go forward as much as I would want to. But just to perfect that defensive possession game that I was able to play, you know, it was good. And I feel like I improved on that aspect. And then it was just 1v1s, I feel like, is what I need to improve on. I feel like a lot of times, a lot of these fast wingers are just going to go at you all the game. So I feel like something in this Gold Cup is learning that, you know, there's high-level players that are going to keep taking you on even if they, you know, don't get past you the first time.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's something that I should really improve on myself.
It was interesting to watch because, like, I was just going through some of your stats. Like, you've been a much more attacking, like much more. And you had moments in the Gold Cup too, but we kind of viewed you as you were doing a defensive job through moments of the game, especially in the final, right? Like trying to do. So it's interesting to hear you say that. And was that a Pochettino thing where he wanted you to be playing a certain way, or is that you talking about just things you want to improve in general?
Obviously, I think it's both. I think he wanted me obviously to play a certain way, but it's also just me wanting to improve. I think at the end of the day, he's going to put me in a position that he feels comfortable that I'm in.
Yeah.
And it's just to give my best in that position and be able to, you know, give him make him satisfied at the end of the day and be able to help the team as much as I can.
Great.
You know, with this, so much has come at you so quickly. You're playing, you know, every weekend, every Saturday, you're in the first name on a team sheet for Orlando. Then you play big minutes in the Gold Cup. As a young player, how difficult has that been? Or maybe it's not difficult because I'm sure, you know, when we spoke, you love the game. What's the challenges to going from Orlando B or dipping your toe in here and there to playing every single week?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you know, it's very different, you know, and you know, I feel like at the beginning it's just pressure. You know, I'm getting a chance. I have to, you know, make the best of it. You know, it's to go to make the best of it, and I'm still trying to do that now. Is to keep, you know, not only performing but keep, you know, pushing for the national team spot. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I'm pushing for club and club, but the represent your country is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like now, obviously, a lot's been thrown at me, but I feel like, you know, it's just to be, you know, not comfortable, but always keep wanting to work. I feel like, you know, if I keep working and be able to, you know, keep wanting to be better, I feel like, you know, stuff's gonna come at me that I'm gonna be able to handle.
Yeah, let's expand on that. I mean, you got this taste. You got more than a taste of the international level. Where's your mindset? Like, how has that changed now? I'm guessing you want more and more of that.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it was an amazing experience to meet amazing people, veterans, you know, and people that are new to it, like myself. So it was a very good opportunity to go and look and see that atmosphere, you know, especially in the final, you know, being at your home and having most Mexico fans. I mean, obviously it's something that you're going to have to get used to at a national level, you know, and just be able to, you know, have so many fans and supporters that are cheering for you, you know, it's something that, you know, it makes you want to keep wanting more.
Yeah.
So something we're curious of, so inside that group, that Gold Cup group, this Gold Cup that you were part of, if something's happening on the field and it's not going well, who are the guys or the guy who will say, we need to change something, we need to do something different? Like, who are the guys that are the leaders that will, like, say, hey, Alex, we need you to do this instead of that? You know, I know we talked about this pregame. It's not working. We need you to do. Who are the guys now in that group? Because there's a whole other set of guys too outside of this group. But in this group, who were those guys?
I feel like the main guy for me obviously was Chris Richards because he was next to me.
Right.
You know, he was just someone that, You know, it's just
He's a
telling me-
monster.
Yeah,
Yeah,
monster.
yeah.
He's telling me to keep pushing. Tim Ream also, you know, he had kind of his like captain appearance
Mm-hmm.
that like you could kind of tell like yeah, he's the one that's gonna, you know, talk to the players,
Mm-hmm.
you know, kind of give that father role,
Yeah.
you know. And Tyler Adams also,
Yeah.
you know, coming in, he was kind of one of the first guys that came up to me and was like, you know, I've seen you, you know, I'm excited to see what you have and just
That's cool.
be
Mhm.
comfortable on the field. You know, at the end of the day, you're here for a reason. And I feel like everyone was there for a reason. It's just to be able to showcase that your ability.
That's awesome.
How much of, obviously, there's always, when you get to the national team level and you're young and talented like yourself, there's always rumors flying around. How much of, clearly you want to succeed at Orlando, but with success at Orlando comes the rumors of Europe and European football and going abroad. How much of that is on your radar?
Obviously, I feel like my end goal is Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like, you know, that's the next step
Mhm.
in my direction. But right now, you know, in Orlando, I'm happy. You know, I'm playing 90 minutes. You know, I'm playing in a style that I'm really comfortable in. You know, and this point is just be able to, you know, keep excelling in that style. You know,
Sure.
because with Orlando, you know, I think everyone there wants to win trophies. You know,
Mhm.
be able to, you know, win something they can lift up for their fans, for their people, and you know, I feel like that's something I want to work for too, for a club that gave me a chance when I was very young.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, I think right now my mindset should just be, you know, focus on that and try to do my best I can in Orlando. And, you know, I think interest more will come,
Absolutely.
you know, and maybe even bigger clubs or
Yeah.
maybe, you know, a club that will fit me more my style.
Sure.
So I feel like right now it's just to perfect, you know, and be able to help Orlando in whatever way I can to win trophies.
Yeah.
So I beat this drum all the time, and I think it's really important for you. We're here to interview you, not give you advice.
Yeah,
but I can't help it because I'm a dad and we're older and we've been through it. So
Yeah.
I would just say right now you are playing every week. You're getting a chance to play with the national team. I think there's probably a very good chance you get called in to the next friendlies that come, no matter who else is there. And there's lots of cautionary tales, especially a year ahead of a World Cup for guys who leave, or 6 months ahead of leave, don't play.
Right.
And then you miss out on a World Cup, right? And you've got this long career ahead of you. So I would just say the grass isn't always greener, and make sure that you just keep doing what you're doing, because right now, like Tim said, in Orlando, you're the first name on the team sheet every week.
Correct.
And you can't imagine, because you're young, how valuable that is to be playing every week. And I think it's really important. Obviously, you have a desire to play in Europe. Do you feel like you need to at some point? Is that like, you know, growing up, was that like, I need to do that to prove myself, or I need to do that to achieve what I want to achieve? Is that how you feel about that?
It's mixed feelings because obviously, you know, people have excelled so much in MLS.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it's a wonderful place to live in America. You know, I think a lot of people, you can see a lot of Europeans want to come here
Yeah.
and live here, you know.
Yeah.
Obviously Europe is always eye grabbing. You want to go. You know what I mean? But I think it's something that I want to do just to test myself, you know, maybe in a different environment for myself. You know, I love Orlando, I love MLS, but soon I think just to be able to test a different environment, you know, I think it's something, not a need, but like kind of like a want.
Yeah.
And it is different. Sorry, it is different. And Tim will tell you this better than me. I always tell people here in America, going to the Orlando City game, for most people, is just an entertainment option. We can go to Disney World, we can go to the beach, or we can go to Orlando City. When you go to Europe, there's no question where you're going to the game on the weekend,
Exactly.
right? And you'll feel that, and you will be there eventually, but you'll feel that, and it is different, and it's special.
Yeah, I mean, and both are great options. I'm thinking back to what you were talking about in the Gold Cup and the level and players running at you constantly and having to defend your space and do all the things. I thought you were fantastic. I thought you grew throughout the tournament, which is what you want. You adapted really well. And in the end, again, the semifinal and final really had my eye on you. I thought that was, your performances were worthy of praise. And clearly, when you go into your career, your name precedes you, and your dad is the great Antonio Freeman, and all of the things that he did on the football field. But I'm always curious, as a dad and a son, you're now on this journey that he was on. What are those conversations like? Forget the soccer side of it. What are those conversations like before a final? He's played in the Super Bowl and won, and you go into a Gold Cup final. What are those type of conversations like before and after the game that you have with your dad?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, my dad's, learning soccer as I'm playing. And so his conversations to me are not more about soccer. It's more about mindset.
Yeah.
And it's more about determination and that kind of stuff. So, and
cool.
obviously he's been, best of the best. So
Yes.
he knows a lot about that. So I think pregame talks for him is just, telling me to, keep my eye on the prize. I feel like at the end of the day, he was like, winning a trophy with your national team is not something you'll do, every day.
Yep.
You got to be able to put in the work and determination and want it, and be able to, go and step on the field and go with determination, with lead, wanting to get that. After the game happened, obviously we didn't win the final, but he was just like, just expressing how proud he was of me.
Yeah.
But not only that, how I kept myself, how I held myself through the whole tournament. He was like, obviously it's a big step for me. And he was like, I could tell that you were trying your best and you did very well, just trying to set the tone and to not feel like it's your first tournament, but trying to kind of make it feel like that I was there for a while,
That's
I
great.
think that's what,
You were.
That's
so.
great.
All right, so everyone wants to
special.
ask about your dad, but I Googled you this morning. I was looking at your Wikipedia. Your mom's a Liverpool fan?
This is sad news.
We got
this is
big
sad
we
news.
got big problems with this, dude.
Big problem.
Good for her, bad
This
for
is
us.
big problems.
She loves her some Van Dyke. Oh my God.
Jesus.
Yeah.
She said she calls you her little Trent.
Yep.
All right, so how did this come about? Why is she a Liverpool? I mean,
Well,
nobody's perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I think our household's a Man U fan. I think our all households like that. And I guess she wanted to be different.
That's different.
She wanted to pick her own team and stuff like that. And so I think, and she grew up a little bit in the Netherlands.
Right.
Oh,
So
right, okay.
Yeah.
so that it went kind of like that. And then she liked him. She liked Mohamed Salah. And then it was kind of like, yeah, I'm Liverpool.
What's her name?
Rochelle.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So yeah, ever since then she's Liverpool. She sends me all these articles about them
Oh,
when they
my
won the
God,
league.
it's
Oh my God,
disgusting.
she wouldn't
It's
stop
tough.
talking about
It's
it.
tough.
Yeah.
It
All right,
happens.
Rochelle. We're not happy about this, just so you know, just for the record.
Quick question for you before we get you out of here. So you have, in my opinion, a fantastic Gold Cup as a team. Going into it, we talked and said the best outcome is to win the trophy. Second best outcome, even though it's hard to take consolations, is a hard-fought loss against Mexico. That means that this team has gotten almost everything. And I just wonder now, everyone gets on the plane, goes home. The next time you're together is September. Any parting words, conversations with you and Pochettino or the coaching staff as you move forward? Words of encouragement, thinking that you'll be in again soon. Is that how it ended?
Yeah, it was kind of like, him kind of just coming up to me and being like, yeah, just keep working. He was like, now it's time for you to go back to Orlando and play like you've been playing here and be able to make an impact on the team. So I feel like Pochettino wants us all to do that, is go to our respective clubs. Obviously, some people had breaks, but for the MLS guys or the other guys in Europe that are starting preseason, going to the go back and keep playing how you're playing and keep succeeding. I think that at the end of the day, that's the way you're gonna get called up again, is if you keep doing good and keep working towards that. So yeah.
Great.
My agent always would say, nothing bad ever happens when you play well. Right? Like all the things you want and all the possibility, if you play well, all the good things happen. You've been playing great, man. And it's been a pleasure to have you. Nice to get to know you. And we're wishing you the best. Wednesday should be fun too. Enjoy it.
Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Good job, man.
Thank you.